You'd think an entire anime about escaping the friend zone would be hell, but no, it's brilliant.
I love you, June, okay?
Love you too, my friend. Come on, bump. Bump. Yeah.
That's rough, buddy.
Tomo-chan Not Even Gonna Try is the rare romantic comedy where the romance is actually good and the comedy is intentional, telling the story of peak tomboy Tomo Aizawa and her journey to get it in by convincing her childhood best friend that she isn't just one of the guys. Only problem? He's in denial, with the show centering around her grand misadventures to get June to see her as a girl, a job made even harder by being peak tomboy and acting like a karate dude bro. But with the help of her friends, Misuzu and Carol, Tomo might just have a shot at realizing she's perfect just the way she is. Yeah, that's right, the show's whole premise is a lie, and that's what makes it great, on top of being hilarious.
Go ahead, I dare.
So let's break down why this anime works, where so many others fail, and how even a cliche as old as time still works when used properly. This is Sarcastic Chorus, and I'm gonna need you to click that subscription button. My channel just hit 300,000 subs, and I know I can top more. If you unsubscribe for that, I completely understand.
Bullseye.
Now, writing romance stories is a little bit tricky, as you have to make an audience want a couple to end up together, but also justify them not hooking up immediately. There's this fine line that needs to be tread between working the fandom into a frenzy and making it so drawn out that we stop caring. The problem that so many romance stories fall into is that it always makes it feel like everyone's problems could be solved if they just said, "I love you," but they never do, and that's infuriating after a while. This, though, is where Tomo is built different. They don't fuck around. There's no 50 episodes of longing or secret identity bullshit. We get a confession in scene 1, and watch a man do Olympic mental gymnastics to convince himself this is a friend thing.
You, my friend. Come on, bump. Bump. Yeah.
The scene is perfect. No, really. See, by immediately confessing, we immediately take the easy answer off the board. Tomo point blank told her crush that she loved him, and it failed. Not liked, not kinda liked, loved. Sparing us the pain of wondering why doesn't she just pull the trigger already? It's because she did. The scene also perfectly sets up the main problem of the series. June, main guy here, June is thicker than a Snicker filled with lead, with him treating her like his best bro when she clearly wants to be his best girl. This kickstarts the hijinks of Tomo trying to act more girly, only for her to fail successfully.
If I wore it every day, would my face be as pretty as yours?
Your turn, take over.
Now, something that had me worried when I first got into this series was the premise, as I personally have always found the idea of people radically changing who they are for a crush to be a bit of a shit moral. Like, yes, if you're a terrible person, take any excuse you can to stop being an asshole. But for everyone else, it feels like less of an improvement and more like a preference. Especially since, June aside, Tomo is very happy being who she is. And thankfully for my sanity and my wallet, the show never really frames Tomo's lifestyle in a negative light, instead relishing in how OP she is, kicking ass, rocking Spanx, and unintentionally flipping straight girls. This show loves Tomo, with it correctly framing her desire to be more girly as really being more of a problem that she only thinks she has rather than an actual one. Like, there are some small life improvements that can be made, but she doesn't need to completely change who she is. Instead, this show celebrates this dork.
You're an amazing girl, and I like you just the way you are. I'm sure I'm not the only one who feels that way.
And with the pressure gone from having to justify changing my waifu, the show is free to be the comedy and character piece that it thrives at. As yes, June is thicker than an oatmeal factory, but he's also not stupid. Mostly. June knows that Tomo is a girl. Now. Took him half a decade, but he figured it out. But he's actively trying to keep their relationship the same, acting like they're still karate kids together, all to ignore the reality of what they are now and what they're feeling. Back when his world made sense, and he didn't want to kiss his homie goodnight. This takes June, a character that seemed like he was just doomed to be just the oblivious love interest, the person that we would hate for just not getting it, and elevates him to be an actually interesting character in his own right, as we dig into his brain on why he's like this. showing his hesitance in upgrading their relationship and showing the admiration he feels for Tomo, how she changed him from a lonely gamer kid to the brick shithouse he is today. There are reasons for why he's like this, and the show explores a lot of them. Even his rivalry with Misuzu is hysterical. And this isn't the joke fights we see from other shows, where kids like, oh yeah, they're fighting, but it's not really that serious. No, there is actual malice here, and it makes it 10 times funnier. Jun as a character gets to be far more introspective than you'd ever think, wondering if it's really worth risking their friendship and how long he can suppress this erection.
Is something wrong?
Combine this with Tomo's just everything, from the dorky shyness to just getting so eager for certain things and just know about others. We get two characters that we absolutely love, but also understand why this hasn't happened yet. It explores those inner fears, turning a fairly standard will they won't they into a juicy, awkward mess of hormones. Rather than waiting for one of them to realize they like each other, they're already there. So now we get to watch the mask Jun puts on to start cracking, and he starts to become even more self-aware of his own contradictions in how he treats Tomo. The fact that he is completely fine being all buddy-buddy with her, yet the second she tries to hug him back, he loses his mind, telling her, no, you can't do that, as the repression is strong with this one. All while we watch the both of them agonize over these moments of intimacy, as Tomo's shyness and Jun's self-delusion, forcing them to go back to acting like they didn't have a moment. The show perfectly captures that cute but horrifying time of two people figuring out where they want their relationship to go. Always being on the cusp of making a change, but never being fully confident enough to just pull the trigger. This could easily be frustrating for some people, but for me, it's fine, because the characters are so endearing. The writing goes the extra mile to flesh out the weird situation that they're in. So if you just want them to hook up already, the comedy will keep you coming back for more. And you can't talk about comedy without bringing up the dynamic duo of Satan and Lucifer.
It's back home. Have you had enough?
More than enough.
Carol and Misuzu are the devils on Tomo's shoulders. Sure, they're ride or die friends, but also very much here for their own amusement, showing that no matter how different the aesthetic, a troll is still a troll, with Misuzu being basically Mandy from Grim Adventures, cold, withdrawn, unhinged sadist, the complete package, existing as the perfect foil for the rest of the cast. She can be Tomo's best friend in one scene, and Jun's worst nightmare in the other. Everyone here is a great person, so having her here and just feeling a little bit shady balance out the alignment for the party. And this is very important, she's the one who first comes up with the idea that Tomo should maybe try and be more girly to hang out with Jun, knowing the emotional damage it will do to his psyche. But far from just being a resident mean girl, Misuzu also brings a ton of subtlety to her character. And I won't spoil the manga, but there is a great moment of realization for her later down the road. We see that in spite of her ice-cold persona, she's way more insecure than she's willing to let on. The show hints at this with how poorly she reacts to Tomo hugging other people, but there's a bomb she's still waiting to drop that fundamentally shifts the way you see her and her advice. And the whole thing about her and Jun being exes is, like, it is such comedy gold that we have that. It's such a perfect wrinkle in their relationship. It's not that she doesn't like the guy or they have this rivalry, but they are each other's deep shame. And the way she bullies him and he bullies her back, I love it. It's so perfect. If Tomo wasn't here, they might honestly try and kill each other.
Know you one of my...
Now Carol is another delight. She's chaos.
That's Misuzu. I'm right here.
You think she's dumb, you think she's smart, but you never know which one she's gonna be that day in which interaction. While she does have her own cute romantic subplot with Misaki, her childhood friend, fiance, and cousin, who treats her more like a little sister than a future wife. They have their own bottle of issues, but it's being Misuzu's friend where she really shines. These two spectating Tomo and Jun's romance is so cathartic, as they are just the perfect audience avatars for us, reminding us, okay, no, these two are superhuman, and despite looking like opposites, they complement each other so well. It provides Misuzu a friend that isn't Tomo or her ex to hang out with, stepping in when the others might get too involved in the love drama, as they want to help in their own ways, but sometimes let the ship figure itself out. Carol takes that character that feels like she has everything under control and just always derails her plans just a little bit, and that's perfect for making sure no character feels too comfortable or too set in their ways, while also bringing the overly girly energy that Tomo feels like she's lacking, and Misuzu being a cat and too withdrawn to give affection. And I might as well get this comparison out of the way. Carol's a lot like Fujiwara from Kaguya-sama. While you never know what they're gonna do next, and they might not be the biggest thing in the plot, you could not imagine the show without them. And personally, Tomo doesn't fully beat out Kaguya-sama for me, but they're not that far apart. And I think part of the reason that Tomo can't really reach those same heights is just the source material. Originally a webcomic, Tomo came out in a 4-comma style where we would just get a single page every day, with most of them ending in a joke while telling a longer overall story. This leads to the series being packed with jokes without making it feel like it's constantly quipping. But while I super enjoyed it and it made just the sweetest little gift of my day, I do think the structure slightly holds it back at times. You can't really build to the same gut busters. You don't really have a moment where it's okay, it's building up, then subverts it. The story structure is very compact. Tomo-chan has its moments, and there are a lot of them. And I don't think there's a gag that I hated, which I feel like is an absolute testament to the show. It even has moments where I feel like it could do without, like Tomo getting groped on a train, which feels like it just happened so June can be your hero. It's fine if they did it once, but then they do the same bit with a beach bro, and it feels weird since the show makes such a big deal about how tough and skilled a fighter Tomo is, and then it's no, we have to make her wait so June can be here. It feels like they have to invent an excuse for why she doesn't beat the crap out of these people. So it's always just a little bit of a dissonance there. So overall though, and not wanting to give out any spoilers to this series, so can't talk about the ending, I think Tomo-chan as a Girl is a stellar romantic comedy. It knows how to deliver on what it wants, while sidestepping the landmines that have sunk those that have come before it. It's a simple meal well made that does justice to all the characters in the story that aren't extras. Even if I do wish we got more stories about people actually being in a relationship instead of just building to the first kiss, I think the beauty of these two are that they're pretty much already in one. The sports, the karaoke hangouts. All of it are things that they love and will continue doing long after they hook up. They just have to get over the fear that things will change to realize it. Go check it out if you haven't already. This is the one show in 2023 that I can promise you will live up to the hype and won't burn down the fandom with its ending. Thank you all for watching. Click all the buttons down below. No, I don't know what they do, but the algorithm must be appeased. Follow me on Twitter, stay safe, and I'll see you all next time.